Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are back with another brand new Nanmu Smart Series release, one that is very much so highly anticipated by many. As you can see, we have the Berserker Rex 2.0, aka the Indominus Rex. And as per usual, you can see we have two different color variants. One is in the classic Indominus colors, one is in a tiger stripe look, almost similar to a Lost World Jurassic Park Velociraptor, which is pretty cool. If you bring the packaging in, you of course have the window area where you can see the figure. We also have some really nice artwork down here of the Indominus Rex in the colors that you would find in this package, and of course you've got all of the information right there. If you turn it to the side, some nice images of the figure. If we turn it to the back, again another really nice image of the figure, and then if we turn it to the other side, you can see the Smart Series logo, and of course you're going to see the same thing when it comes to the other variant. You can see again the super cool artwork there of the Indominus, then some more images again of the figure over here, then of course the image again here on the back. The lights are absolutely killing this, and then over here again the Smart Series logo, and up on the top pretty much just some more random stuff like the Smart Series and Nanmu logos. So let's pop these boxes open and check them out. And there they are, just like magic they appear. We have both versions of our Indominus Rex figures here standing before us, and wow is all I can say. Pretty much a common trend when it comes to anything Nanmu related, especially when it comes to their newer Smart Series stuff. I am consistently blown away by how beautiful these look, and pretty much everything that they release looks. These two look unreal in person. What is cool is, as you can see, we actually have some extras. There are also alternate hands for both versions, as well as a stand if you want to kind of create more dynamic poses. So definitely really fun to have that stuff included. So I'm going to readjust the camera, and then we're going to jump straight to a closer look. So starting in the head sculpt of the more standard version of the Indominus Rex, you can see it is absolutely magnificent. When it comes to an Indominus Rex head sculpt, that is as spot on and picture perfect as you are going to find anywhere. You've got really nice looking scale detail throughout, really crisp scale detail. Definitely pops in a very impressive way on the sculpt. We of course have a dark grayish tone for the primary body color, and then the lighter scales kind of like dry brushed out, which again is exactly what you would want to see, because that's exactly how the Indominus is colored. And because of the way that they've painted it, you can really see how nice the detail pops on the figure. We also have really nice impressive paintwork for the eyes. You have like a reddish tone, then like a yellowish tone, and a nice slit like pupil, and then you also have a beautiful gloss coat there over the eyes, making those eyes shine and look genuinely alive. Of course, you've got an articulated jaw for the Indominus, which is of course a great thing when it comes to an articulated figure, and especially when it comes to posability. But you can see the teeth all have that really nice, genuine, realistic look to them. It's almost kind of translucent in a way. It just has such a realistic look to the teeth. I don't know exactly what the material is that Nanmu uses for the teeth on their figures, but I would be very, very impressed if I could find any other teeth out there on dinosaur figures that look more realistic than what you see on the Nanmu figures. And I also like that they've of course added some like brown washes and stuff to some of the teeth, just adding a little bit of dirtiness to them. We can also see the skin here on the inside of the mouth, again with the mouth open. We have a nice pinkish tone with a reddish wash that helps to highlight that detail. Inside the mouth, you can see again, same thing as far as like the pinks and reds and stuff. We can also see the tongue, which is very clearly articulated because it's kind of pushed over to the side. And if we bring it up, you can move it up. You can also push it over. I'm just kind of trying to push it back into place. But as you move through, wow, look at how good the detail looks on the inside of the mouth. That is fantastic and so nicely painted. They painted it out in a very realistic way with the different variations, again, of pinks and reds. And they've also applied a really nice gloss coat inside the mouth, helping it to have that nice, genuine, saliva-like look. And the jaw articulates perfectly. Another thing that's really fun, which is actually something that's new to the Indominus compared to the first version that Nanmu had released, is the fact that we do have the quills up here on the back of the head and neck. You can see they are painted with a black, and they're nice and flexible, so that is a plus because you don't have to worry about them breaking in transit. As you move down through the neck, you can see again all of those kind of like scoots that move down, almost ridges following along the back of the neck. The scale detail continues to look really good. You've got some finer scales here, almost slightly crocodilian type scales here on the underside of the throat moving down. You've also got one spot right here, one spot right here, and another spot right here for the neck articulation. And I instantly noticed when I pulled these out that the neck articulation on these is so super smooth. As you can see, it just moves so easily and stays exactly where I put it. So these would definitely be a stop motion creator's dream because it's moving so nice and so smoothly, which you can see. But as far as like left and right, you can see you can get a pretty good left and right turn in the neck. You can also get, I'm hitting the stands over here, but you can also get the head up and also down, which helps again as far as display options go. So really nice articulation in the neck. As you move down into the body, again, you've got not only your standard scales, but also some osteoderms and stuff popping up here and there as you move through the body, even leading back into the stomach. You've also got more of those, focus camera, more of those ridges moving along the back of the Indominus, a nice darker gray following along the back of the Dinosaur. You as well have, again, a few more trailing quills up here on the back of the Dino as well. As you move down into the arm, again, the scales look so nice. My camera doesn't want to focus on them. There you go. The paintwork continues to look really nice. You have the variations of grays. You also have some more really vibrant scales, as well as nice musculature displayed in the arm. As you move down, you can see, of course, the elbow, but also more quills hanging off of the back of the arm. And again, they are a little bit, flexible. And then as you move down into the hands, you have some nice scoots moving down the hands, down in through the fingers. And then you've got some nice big claws there, which are painted with a black, and they do have a really nice, fairly genuine sharp look to them. You can also see the palms of the hands and everything, which look really good as far as the articulation in the arms go. It is a little stiff, but they can move forward and back really nicely. They actually have some very impressive mobility as you can continue to move them around. Again, they can go pretty high up. Could probably loop completely around if I really wanted to try. They also come out away from the body, which I noticed. So again, pretty much covering all bases as far as that goes. You have elbow articulation, which is super, super smooth right there, as well as wrist articulation, which can swivel, and also, again, go forward and back, which also looks really good. So really impressive articulation all around. As you move down, you can see again the very nice looking scale detail of the underside of the Indominus. We also have some more midsection articulation, which of course in that area can go left and right really nicely. And I would imagine up and down. Yep, you've got a little up and down movement right there. So that's nice. As you lead back, again, the scales continue to look super impressive and super vibrant. The paintwork is still, again, looking awesome the entire way through. They've done such a great job of highlighting all of the scales. You've got a few skin wrinkles and skin folds and stuff down here in the lower part of the stomach. A few more ridges, of course, following along the back as you lead up. Then you lead down into the thigh, and you can see the musculature really shining right here. Again, more osteoderms, more scales throughout. As you lead down a little bit further, you've got a really strong looking calf right there, which again looks awesome. Some more kind of clusters of larger scales there on the back of the calf, and again some more clusters of larger scales on the front of the shin, and then again some more traditional scales moving down along the side. As you continue to lead down, you've got some really nice looking fine detail leading into the foot, some beautiful scoots down the toes, and again, all of the detail continues to look super, super crisp. We as well have the claws again right here painted with a nice black tone, and again, having a nice genuine sharp look to them, which is also great. As you lead back up, you again have leg articulation, which can go forward and back really nicely. You also can move it actually out away from the body, which you can see. Again, I almost dropped it there, so I got to be careful. We as well have knee articulation, which can go actually really far in. It can really fold in and then go really far out. So some beautiful posability in the knee area. As you lead down, you've also got ankle articulation, forward and back. Can that swivel? Yes, it can. And then you also have ankle articulation as you move down in like the foot area. You've got a little more there, forward and back, which can also swivel. And you even have articulated toes, which you can see, which again can go pretty far down, which allows some really nice posability for the figure. So you can get all of those toes bent and get a really nice pose on it with it kind of like running or walking or something like that. So the articulation in the legs is also fantastic, and overall I would say that this is some of the smoothest and best articulation that we have seen in the Smart Series so far, really showing you that they have improved their product yet again. As you lead in, you can also see we have the other toe with the dew claw as well. And then we lead up here into the back of the dinosaur, and as we lead out, we again have more really nice looking scales. You have more of that darker gray moving along the back of the dinosaur with some more of those ridges, and as you continue to lead out, you've got a really nice tail as you lead out there toward the tip, and again quite a few joints of articulation as you lead out, which can go left and right really nicely, up and down as well. Same deal here, left and right, up and down, left and right, up and down, and then left and right, up and down, and that allows really nice posability again in the tail as you lead out. You can get nice range of movement all over the place for that tail, which is also again going to be a great addition, great aspect to this figure when it comes to posing it. And of course you're going to see the same thing when you lead over to the other side. No real differences from one side to the other when it comes to a fully posable articulated figure like this, but it looks great again from both sides. It also has some nice weight to it, but can stand perfectly fine on its own. As far as the different hands go, you can see we've got this hand that kind of has like the, fingers like enclosed here, kind of closed in, looking kind of creepy. Again, really impressive paintwork on the hands. You've also got a hand that has the fingers more open, giving you a much better visual of the fine detail of the palm of the hand. Also the fact that the palms are actually more of like a white rather than the grayish tones. And then you also have this one, so that you can actually put the Indominus basically like planting its hand down on the ground, making it look like it is now standing, quadrupedally, which is a really nice touch to the figure. So pretty awesome to have numerous different hands. And then of course we do have those exact same hands with the other version here as well, so I did want to point that out again. You've also got the exact same hands, but in different coloration, because you also have the other color variant. Now this one, like I said, has more of like a tiger striped look to it, which is really cool. You can see we've got some beautiful brownish tones that kind of stripe down through the palette, along the snout, through the eye and everything as you lead through. You can also see the eye is painted perfectly with some different variations of greens. Gorgeous gloss coat, again, helping it shine very realistically. We've got the pupil right there. And of course, we also have some really nice mixtures of browns and oranges as you move through that kind of lighten to almost like a yellowish orange. And then we move down and we have an off-white here for the lower jaw. And they've done a great job, again, of applying washes and everything so that the detail pops so nicely. Honestly, I may actually like this one more than the actual color scheme of the Indominus, the original one that we just saw over there, just because the colors on this are so flashy. And the tiger striped raptors from the Lost World are some of my favorite raptors that has ever appeared in the Jurassic franchise. We can also see a little difference when it comes to the coloration of the inside of the mouth. I think maybe they used a different shade of pink, but it all looks just as impressive and lifelike. Again, that gloss coat's so nicely applied in there. We again have those really realistic teeth. You can see they are very much so genuinely sharp. They do, of course, also have that interlocking effect as you close the mouth. And they're also, again, just like the Indominus has, kind of like sporadic, like random teeth popping up here and there. So they really captured every detail of the Indominus very nicely. As you move up to the top of the head, you can see, again, not only is that striping super smooth as far as its application goes, you've got some really nice darker browns that kind of stripe through. We also have the quills, of course, up here on the back of the head of this one. They are, again, painted with a nice blackish tone. And as we move down here through the neck, we continue to have the nice brownish tones and orangish tones, kind of like mixing and meshing, kind of striping down with those browns. There's also a nice wash that has been applied. Looks like maybe a dark grayish wash for the most part. But then you've got that off-white continuing to lead down here along the neck and throat. And again, all of the same fine details. Sculpt-wise, it's exactly the same, just different paintwork, which is really nice looking. But again, just like with the other one, the articulation is crazy, crazy smooth on this figure. And as we lead back, we pretty much have the same kind of color scheme following along, where we have like those browns sort of striping down from the back, the nice variations of like orangish browns. You've got lighter tones here in the stomach, and again, the dark wash really highlighting the detail beautifully. The transitions are picture perfect and super smooth. I love the very slight hints of like yellowish tones showing up. We have more of the browns as you lead down through the arm, kind of striping down, and again, more variations to the oranges. You also have some nice scoots down the fingers that are highlighted again with a darker tone, really making those pop. And again, the claws on the hands painted with a black. Actually, it's more of like a dark brown than a black. As you move back, again, you continue to have the lighter tone on the underside, more of that dark brown covering the back and then striping down, and then you see more of that dark brown as you lead down into the legs, just kind of striping and patterning through as you lead the entire way down. Those stripes follow along the front of the shin, with the lighter tones following along the back of the leg, and then you again have the scoots there on the front of the foot, very nicely highlighted with that darker brownish tone, and again the claws painted with that dark brown. Same deal for the dew claw, and then you lead up and you continue to have those stripes again as you lead out through the tail, and again you've got quite a bit of that striping that leads out. The really nice wash, super smooth transition. My camera doesn't want to focus, but again the tail does articulate really nicely, allowing again some beautiful posability with the Indominus. So again, man, that is a gorgeous color variant of this Indominus. We also have the plastic stands for this release again, which are the same plastic stands we had for the last few releases. They have that nice translucent clear look. They also can articulate so that you can basically move them into whatever position you want, so you can again help prop up your Indominus into pretty much any and every pose you would like. As far as a size goes, for a length, you are looking at around 17 inches or about 43 centimeters. And then if we just slide it back, I moved it too awkwardly and made the legs move. For a height in the position it's in currently, right around 8 inches or about 20.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect Day Human Being next to our Indominus Rex. And you can see again, it's pretty big. It definitely has some really nice size to it. It's not gigantic by any means, but definitely one of the larger Smart Series figures we've had so far, maybe the largest. Then for a size comparison with both tiger-striped figures from Nanmu, we have the Lost World Jurassic Park Velociraptor, which also just happens to be the same size as all of the other raptors in the Nanmu line so far, at least when it comes to the Smart Series figures, but obviously the Indominus is significantly larger. Then when it comes to a comparison with the other figure that I would say rivals the Indominus in size from the Smart Series, we have their V-Rex, which you can very clearly see the Indominus is actually a little bit bigger than the V-Rex. Then when it comes to a really cool comparison, we have the classic Nanmu female Tyrannosaurus Rex here next to the Indominus, which you can see they're fairly similar in size overall. Also, another size comparison that I felt like would be a fun one, no relation or anything here, but we have the super articulated Beasts of the Mesozoic Allosaurus next to the Indominus, and as you can see, these two are pretty similar in size, with the Allosaurus being just slightly larger. And then just in case you wanted a comparison with the 1/35th scale Beasts of the Mesozoic T-Rex, here is my custom painted version, which you can see is a whole lot smaller than that Indominus. And just in case somebody was going to ask for a comparison between these two, here is the Indominus next to the Hammond Collection T-Rex. Obviously, they're not to scale with each other. And then one final comparison with the original Indominus next to the Smart Series version. Again, two different Nanmu releases here for the Indominus, showing you not only how much better the newer one is, but just in general how much Nanmu has improved over time. But they do still both look awesome next to each other. So this brand new Nanmu Smart Series Super Articulated Indominus Rex release is absolutely fantastic. I think sculpt-wise they completely nailed it here. They look like they pretty much were pulled straight out of the screen and brought to my review station. The only thing maybe I could say is the tail might be slightly short on this compared to the way it's supposed to be, but I'm no expert when it comes to the Indominus, so I could be entirely wrong about that. But again, the fine detail throughout is extremely crisp, extremely impressive, and overall, looks exactly as it does on the Indominus in Jurassic World. The paintwork is also great on both. Of course, the classic Indominus version looks pretty much, again, just like it was pulled straight out of the screen. The overall paintwork, again, is so nicely done, helps to highlight the detail perfectly, and just looks extremely impressive. And of course has that Nanmu charm of being just so high quality. So the paintwork is awesome. I love the fact that we now have the quills on the Indominus, something the original version was unfortunately lacking, so Nanmu made sure to improve that with this new version and include them. And again, the realism is off the charts. Like, when you look at the eyes, they just look so realistic and lifelike. The inside of the mouth has such a nice saliva-like look. The claws look genuine, sharp, and realistic. And of course, on top of that, the articulation has never been better and never been smoother. It just works so nicely. I mean, the articulation has always been really well done on the Smart Series, but I just feel like it somehow works even better on these new figures. And both color variants look so good. The tiger striped version is just an awesome addition, and I may even like that better than the original coloration that we have on the, standard version. But if you are interested in these, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase both of them from Lana Time Shop. So make sure you check that link. Definitely pick these up and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.